Take us a little bit through that process, because change at a place like Oakmont and big change like that, it can't be easy.
No, Tommy, it wasn't, and it really did open up our nation to taking trees down on their property. Yes. I think Oakmont was really the stimulus for that. I'll tell you that the Phones family ran the golf course until about 1950, the late 40s. And I would say, I'm not going to say it's like it is today where there wasn't a tree on the property, but when Mr. Phones bought the property, it was a farm. He took down most of the trees off the farm and built his golf course. And other than some very non-play areas, there virtually was no trees. And I found a great picture in East Lake in the clubhouse. If you've ever been there, it's a great museum, their clubhouse. Yeah. Since Bobby Jones won the 25 amateur, they had a picture, an aerial of the 1926 aerial in their clubhouse. And I said, wow, can you make a copy of that and send it to me? And that really became one of our, great maps, if you will, of going back to the future, if you will. And so in the mid 50s, late 50s, throughout the country, there were beautification programs at clubs. Every club did it. Every club, except for Shinnecock, Chicago Golf, National, and even those courses took out some trees. But Oakmont was one of the ones that fell into that, and we had some guys that wanted the golf course to look like Augusta or Pine Valley, where every hole was unto itself. And, they planned, sadly, they had the right frame of mind to do the right thing, but didn't turn out so well. They brought Robert Trent Jones in to plant these trees, and places he put them was just sad, really. As you know, our ditches, they were in ditches. They were covering the ditches. They're covering all the great, parts of the golf course that we admire today. So, I tell the story. I was just a kid, and I took the grounds committee down hole number 1 and showed them a shot that I was in a bunker, and there was a tree in front of me. Like 20 feet in front of me. Like I had no shot. I had to go sideways. And the grounds chairman said, Bob's right. We need to take this bunker out. and I about started to cry. And I'm telling you, that was in 83. We didn't take a tree out for 8 or 9 more years. We kept planting trees after that. Oh my gosh. So, until we got some guys that really had some good golf, high IQ, that realized that, our golf course was suffocating. We had par 3s that you had to hit a draw off the tee to avoid the trees that were growing into the shot. And a 15, if you cut the ball on 15T, which is a long par 4, your trees are going to knock your ball down. And number 7, and it's just on and on and on. And so we started, basically taking out strategic trees that were affecting the playability of the golf course. And as it continued, and I'm going to tell you, it continued for 20-some years. This was not an overnight project, but, over the next 20 years, the more we cleared, we thought the prettier it got. And, the members, it was very contentious, as you can imagine. And, the lore is that we took down 1,000 before we got caught. And we did it at night, 4:30, in the morning. By 6:30, the trees that we, wanted to attack were gone. Sawdust was gone, leaves were gone. Sodded it over. It was quite a SWAT team out there taking these trees down. But, and then it just continued. And as we got into the 2000s, our superintendent at that time, John Zimmers, did give him unbelievable amount of credit. He just started whacking trees. He wasn't asking. He just started to take them down. And, we had a number of grounds chairmen that kept getting voted off the board from, contingent of members that weren't happy with it. But after it all got done, even those people took credit for what happened, and I don't know a member that is unhappy with what happened.
It's stunning to see, and if anyone's listening and loves their trees, let it be said that there are great golf courses built for lots of trees, and Bob mentioned a few, but certainly Oakmont has benefited from these long views and returning the golf course to what it originally was.
I would be remiss if I didn't say Arnold of all people. When Arnold lost to Jack in '62, the trees were about 10 feet tall. They were little and growing. And, as we went through this process, Arnold said to me, he said, Bob, I played Oakmont in the late 40s when it was a links-like golf course. And I've grown up with the trees, and I have to tell you, I like it better with the trees. And if you ever were at Latrobe Country Club and Laurel Valley Golf Club, where Arnold hung his hat every day, you'd understand why he likes trees. I mean, it's single file up there.
Yeah.
And, God rest his soul, but he was very against it. So recently, Jack Nicklaus was up a couple of years ago and grabbed me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "About what, Jack?" And he said, "That all the trees are gone." I said, "I think it looks spectacular." He said, "I hate it." And so now he had two of the greatest players in the game. Last year, I had occasion to be at a dinner with Trevino, a charity dinner, and he said he hates it. I know Gary Player hates it. So you got four of the kings of the game that, saying that they don't like it. And, I'm thinking to myself, why don't these guys like it? I mean, they love playing over in Great Britain and Scotland. And,
right.
And, but, it's like going back to your home. When you go back to your home and if they changed anything in your home, you're like, I don't like it. I don't like what they did, because you like it the way you remember it. And those guys played such high caliber golf at Oakmont in that era that they want to remember it the way when they played it. And they don't remember it now, and it's foreign to them. And, I'm trying to justify why they could possibly not like it, because everybody loves it.